Last week was all about dark, bitter coffee, and today we're reaching for the teapot with an Indian-inspired chai stout, courtesy of the good folks at Tempest. Now, I think I may have covered a little of the Tempest story in my Mexi-Cake review, but if you missed that one, don't you worry, because their website, it is fantastic. It's easily one of the best I've come across. And their story, it is well worth a read. And as well as that fantastic website, they also brew the odd good beer or two. I'm expecting this one to be no exception, as today we have chai cutter. Now I know just how sweet Indians do like their chai. Although, to be fair, I'm hoping it's not diabetes-inducing sweet either. So here is the chai cutter. It's inspired by the roadside tea stalls of Kolkata. The holy elixir of warm, milky, sweet spiced chai is the ultimate comfort blanket. And I tell you what, I am feeling a little bit raspy at the back of my throat, so I'm hoping this can really work some wonders. Here, the powerful concoction of green cardamom, vanilla, cinnamon, fennel, ginger, black pepper, milk sugars are in a perfect harmony with the chocolate malty milk stout. Now, the first thing that jumped out at me at that description is just that list of adjuncts. So I'm hoping those spices and some of those dark and chocolate malts can really help balance off some of that expected sweetness. And some of those spices looks like they've arrived just in time for Christmas. So let's see if this can bring a little Christmas cheer. Let's get pouring. Oh, so there's a lot going on in that nose. First, there's a lot of sweet vanilla, and then in behind it, there's a lot of those spices. You're getting that nutmeg, you're getting that cinnamon, you're getting that cardamom. Oh, it's a real cocktail in there. And it almost smells a little minty too. Yeah, that mint smells a little after eight like. So yeah, it's very milky up top, and then those spices start to take hold, and they really take hold. And there's a little warming in the finish. And there's a little maltiness back there too. And although it is quite sweet, it is nowhere near as sweet as I'd feared. And let's see if we can identify some of those spices. So for me, it's the nutmeg, and then it blends into the cardamom that really fill the mouth. There is a subtle vanilla in there as well, and like I said, there's a subtle maltiness there too. And although there's milkiness adding a smoothness and creaminess to the body, it could definitely do with being just a little bit thicker in the body. And with that, there is a lively level of carbonation as well, which does add a lightness to it, but does help accentuate a lot of those spicy notes. And now we're down into the beer. Some of those early huge spicy notes have started to tame ever so slightly. There is a little bit more of a milky presence in there, a little bit of that chocolate too. And it is down here where you truly do notice just how thin it actually is. Straight from the nose, you get a real good feel for what you're in for. Huge spice notes of cardamom and nutmeg, and sweet, sweet vanilla, although it does smell a lot sweeter than it eventually turns out to be. I also picked up a few subtle minty notes in that nose, and a little bit of chocolate too. It did have a very after-eight vibe to it, and that very first sip, wow, there is a whole lot going on. There is that subtle sweetness and vanilla and milkiness right up top. And then the spices hit you. And boy, do they hit hard. Those cardamom and nutmeg notes dance all over the mouth. And they linger there long, long, long after. And of course I do have my usual criticism. It is that body, and I know it's only a 5%er, so expecting something thick and heavy would be just a little unfair. But they definitely should have, or they should at least now try to, amp that baby up a little bit. That, and it does become noticeably watery as you get into the tail. And from there, it does start to lose its way a little. From those tops, I thought we might be dealing with an easy 5-starer. It is still a very enjoyable brew, albeit just a tad disappointing in the end. Now, should this make its way back to the shelves with an 8 or 9% ABV, then I'd be very interested in giving it a revisit.